Let me play Jim Harbaugh's response for what happened on Saturday in the tunnel with Michigan State.
An apology will not get the job done in this instance. There should be serious consequences for the many individuals that are culpable. And on behalf of the 2022 Michigan football team, our players, our coaches, our staff, our university, this has been a very traumatic experience.
He said that there's an ongoing police investigation. With more on that, let me bring in Kyle Austin. He covers Michigan State basketball and football for M Live, and he was there in the tunnel and witnessed what happened between Michigan and Michigan State. Kyle, thanks for joining us. How can you update us on where we are right now?
Where we are right now is really, it still seems like kind of an evolving situation. More video has kind of trickled out over the last couple of days that shows a lot of different things going on and a lot of different players. So Michigan State, as of right now, has suspended 4 of those players indefinitely. And we're waiting on a police investigation too. I mean, by University of Michigan Police, that's ongoing, and they'll be deciding if there's any charges. But certainly don't think we've seen and heard all there is to hear about this.
What did you see?
So I was about halfway up the tunnel in a little room off to the side where we do interviews, and I'm watching Michigan State players come up pretty uneventfully for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden it's kind of a big mob of players heading my way, and it's clear there's something in the middle, but there's about 10 or 15 Michigan State players there that are all shoving, a couple kicking, a couple throwing some punches, and then Michigan player finally kind of sports out of there and gets off to the side to safety. So, the whole thing lasted probably about 30 seconds, but a lot of Michigan State players kind of ganging up on one Michigan guy.
Anything lead up to this other than a lopsided win by Michigan and the rivalry between these two?
Pretty much just those two things. Probably a rivalry that I think has gotten a lot more heated and a lot more toxic in the last 4 or 5 years. And this situation is totally on the Michigan State players, but the Michigan tunnel situation is kind of a cauldron for this type of thing. It's a narrow tunnel. It's a long tunnel. Both teams have to go up it. And, they were in close proximity and during a very heated time. And it was just kind of a perfect storm for this to happen, I think.
Here's the Michigan State head coach, Mel Tucker.
Michigan State football is about integrity, discipline, unselfishness, toughness, and accountability. The incidents involving a small group of our players do not represent our culture.
I think Jim Harbaugh said he had not heard from Mel Tucker that there was no apology to him. Do you have anything on that, Kyle?
As of yesterday, when Mel Tucker spoke, he confirmed he had not called Jim Harbaugh. He did apologize publicly, said he's sorry, but as far as directly to Jim Harbaugh, as far as I'm aware, that's not happened.
And police charges. What do you think the possibility is that they're filed and that you could actually go through with something like this, an assault?
I think there's a pretty decent chance. If you look closely at the video, in one of the instances, you've got a player swinging a helmet. Not a lawyer, but my understanding is you're talking about adding a weapon now to the situation, which I think increases the likelihood. And, look, this didn't happen on the field. This was off the field in a separate area. So I think the idea that this is players in a game kind of goes out the window once the game's over and you're off the field. I think they're treated like anybody else.
Yeah, I just wonder what was said. It's one thing you might be jawing back and forth, but there had to be, it felt like some trigger words there, and then all of a sudden, not that means you can go attack somebody, but do we know?
I agree that the one thing that's missing from here is what precipitated it. I didn't see what started this. I haven't seen any video that showed what started it. I agree it was probably some words, and that doesn't justify what Michigan State players did, but we still don't really have a clear picture of what really kind of set this thing off.
Kyle, thanks for joining us, and good luck covering this.
All right, thanks, Dan.
That's Kyle Austin. He covers Michigan State football and basketball for M Live.